On a sun-kissed Saturday in early November, Alison Corpuz returns to her alma mater.
The last time I was on the field was for my official visit like 7 years ago, so it's been a while.
Before her Trojans fight on.
Please welcome 2023 U.S. Open champion, Alison Corpuz.
Corpuz basks in the glow of her own conquest.
Still feels like a dream come true, and especially being able to have the trophy in front of the Trojan family is really special to me.
Whoa! Closest I'll ever get.
The gals of the Women's Open Championship show the form and skill that have brought them to the finals for the coveted crown.
The sternest test in women's golf.
Incredible to win this championship, but to win it in that fashion.
She's going to remember this for a long time.
On the greatest meeting of land and sea in American golf.
What do we think about when we think about Pebble Beach? Jack Nicklaus and the one iron he hit on 17.
That's the most remarkable shot, I think, right there.
Tom Watson's chip on 17 as well.
Do you believe it? What can you say?
Tiger Woods' second shot on 6 and winning by 15 shots.
You think strength is not an advantage? It's just not a fair fight.
This course produces iconic moments in golf and in U.S. Open history, and the women will now have an opportunity to place their stamp on Pebble Beach this week.
This is the 2023 U.S. Women's Open. Walking with history. Before a single shot is struck in the 2023 U.S. Women's Open, the natural beauty of Pebble Beach takes center stage inside the media center.
The views on every hole, I feel like you get to a hole and you're like, this is my favorite view, and then you get to another hole and I'm like, no, this is actually my favorite view.
So I guess then what is your favorite hole? You've seen them all.
All of them.
I think overall the course is going to be a really great test for all of us. There's a mix of really great holes, some long holes, shorter holes. If the wind gets up, it'll be quite tough.
I'm really excited to play this golf course. I really wanted to play this golf course.
"2023 marks the first year that the storied venue is hosting the U.S. Women's Open. To celebrate the occasion, 39 former champions gather for a reunion.
It's super special. A lot of it is just like catching up what we've been doing, you know, what's happening, and just reminisce a lot, pick up some of the friendships, and just, it's fun. I think it's very, very special.
Oh, it's like being in a sorority you never thought you'd be a part of, be so privileged to be a part of and humbled to be a part of. It's just kind of a pinch me dream moment.
My first year was 1984, and I won my first Open in 1999.
Julie Inkster is finally champion.
But as an American, to win your national championship, it cemented my career. I could have done nothing after that, and I was super happy with where I was at.
The youngest women's Open champion ever.
Back then, what was my biggest dreams about winning the U.S. Open? When you pick or choose, you're going to be U.S. Open.
While icons reminisce about the past, one player in the field of 156 has her mind focused squarely on the present.
That was my first time actually being on property, but I think everyone has seen Pebble Beach on TV at some point in their lives. You see pictures, you see videos, and just how beautiful it is, and then you get there in person and it's somehow even better than anything that you've experienced about it. The US Open is the major that I've played the most. I played it a few times as an amateur and now twice as a professional, so it was just the tournament that I had the most experience with, so had a little more expectations of what the week would look like.
On the eve of the first round, everything about one of the most perfect settings in the world looks a little more perfect. When it's bathed in just the right amount of fading sunlight and the right measure of anticipation.
When you think about a U.S. Women's Open, which is the oldest championship, most coveted championship in women's golf, then you bring it to a place where it's never been before, a place where so much history has been written. And then when you consider the passing of the torch, when you go from Annika Sorenstam and Michelle Wie playing in what we believe will be their final U.S. Women's Opens, at the same time that Rose Zhang is playing her first U.S. Women's Open as a professional, having just won her pro debut, you get to watch that torch being passed at a place that is so familiar to anyone who watches golf.
She's an inspiration, inspired me since I was younger. For me personally, I was at the ANA Junior Inspiration and we had a little talk. I actually asked about how you prevent burnout. It was a question that you had a lot of answers to, and the one comment that you made was smell the roses, so and that's something you've always said over the years.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Something I heard and have kept in my heart till now.
You are smelling the roses. Good for you.
Yep.
I'm on my way out, and she's on her way in. To watch these young ladies come up being so mature, and it's more than just watching Rose hit the ball and make the putts. It's, you know, the impact that she and the other young ladies have on others outside the ropes that I admire the most. And we all have different phases in our life. I'm in a new chapter, and she's starting her chapter there, so it's been great.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Potential is a sensation to revel in. Anything and everything feels possible at Pebble, which feels pretty perfect.
As a girl dad, I can't wait to see one of these impressive ladies sink the putt on 18 to win a U.S. Open. And I know that all the little girls out there also now get to dream their dream about sinking that putt on 18. And what a special gift that is.
A groundbreaking notion becomes a remarkable reality during round one of the 2023 US Women's Open.
It's time. The wait is over.
After years of anticipation, Pebble Beach welcomes a women's major championship for the first time.
Good morning. Welcome to round one of the 78th US Women's Open Championship hosted by Pebble Beach Golf Links.
Few people understand the meaning of this milestone better than Carol Semple Thompson, one of the USGA's most decorated champions.
Well, I'd much rather be playing, but that time has passed me by, so this is so much fun to see everyone on the tee. It's a great honor for me.
As the Open's official starter, she serves as a vital link between the game's past and present.
Please welcome from Canada, Brooke Henderson.
At 2:35 Pacific Time, she introduces one of the marquee first-round groupings.
From New Zealand, please welcome Lydia Ko.
The group is headlined by 20-year-old phenom Rose Zhang.
And here comes Rose.
A prolific amateur and collegiate champion, Zhang has inspired comparisons to another Stanford standout, three-time US Open champion Tiger Woods.
Number 1 in the world and number 1 in the NCAAs, Rose Zhang.
And the best in the world is a champion at Augusta National.
Rose Zhang is here, and she is here to stay.
You could not write a script better than this right here.
Zhang established the women's course record at Pebble Beach while at Stanford. And she seems primed to go low again during round 1. On the short par 4 fourth hole, she makes her second consecutive birdie.
Looks completely unfazed. Like, well, I shot 63 here last September. This is picking up where I left off.
But her round comes undone on the par 4 eighth.
And that has problems, and not sure where that ended up. Wherever it ended up, not good.
Zhang makes double bogey. She shoots 74 in the opening round, but dazzles the crowd coming home on the famed par 3 17th hole.
Yep. Oh, what a touch this is. What a touch. Amazing.
How fun was that?
Zhang's deft touch calls to mind a similar shot played by Gary Woodland when he won the 2019 US Open at Pebble Beach.
And somewhere out there, if Woodland's watching, he's smiling.
Lydia Ko watched Woodland's victory to prepare for this year's Open. But she implodes in round 1.
Oh, goodness. Way left. That is an incredibly bad shot. That's the kind of swinging shot you see out of a 15 handicap, not an elite golfer.
A quadruple bogey on the par 3 fifth hole leads to 76. World number 1 Jin Young Ko shoots 79. While number 2 ranked Nelly Korda stumbles to a 76. Perhaps no one feels the sting of disappointment more acutely than Mina Haragai, who grew up down the road from Pebble Beach and played the course often as a young girl.
I can't get mad. It is so good.
Hey, stop living and dying on every shot.
Well, I mean, they're kind of important.
She bogeys 3 of her first 5 holes en route to a 74.
It's the U.S. Open. There's going to be stress.
Can't be helped, you know?
Right. Would you rather be sitting at home?
No.
Okay.
While Haragai struggles, sitting near the top of the leaderboard is the improbable amateur Anya Donegan, who lost her clubs during a whirlwind 30-hour trip to California. When they finally arrived, her driver was broken. But Donegan takes the setback in stride. She makes 5 birdies and an eagle in a 10-hole stretch to punctuate what she calls the round of her life.
Now, I know that Links is familiar to you and Lahinch is your home club, but maybe, you know, Pebble Beach, you've got a few fans here. This is Go Donegan in the sand just off the 9th hole at Pebble Beach. Who may have done that?
I don't know who wrote that. I have to find out, but that's so funny.
On Thursday morning, Amelia Migliaccio covers the Open as an on-course reporter for NBC Sports. On Thursday afternoon, she trades in her microphone for her golf clubs. Migliaccio is believed to be the first woman in history to broadcast and compete in the same US Women's Open.
Amelia Migliaccio for par.
For Migliaccio's historic first, to the farewells of Annika Sorenstam and Michelle Wie West, who are playing in their final US Women's Opens, and in the process giving the galleries one final glimpse of their prestigious talents. Jack Nicklaus once described the approach shot to the par 4 8th as the most magnificent second shot on the planet. Alison Corpuz is up to the task with a hybrid from 196 yards.
Oh,
wow.
Hit it about 196.
She then makes the putt and posts 3 under 69.
Every tournament that I play, I kind of look at Thursday and Friday more as just getting into position, making sure that you make the cut, making sure that you're kind of around the lead, and more of the weekend is your time to take charge.
Meanwhile, nearly 10 hours after Shi Yu Lin shoots 68, Hoo Joo Kim matches her. She nearly aces the par 3 fifth.
Using that closely mown area to her advantage. Is it there?
Kim then makes an unlikely birdie on the par 4 8th and joins Lin atop the leaderboard. In the first round of the first ever US Women's Open at Pebble Beach.
And Shi Yu Lin has company at the top at 4 under.
Early in round 2, Bailey Tardy is showing her stellar round 1 performance at Pebble is no fluke.
No one has been better in round 2 than 26-year-old Bailey Tardy from Atlanta.
For the second consecutive day, she eagles 6 and birdies 7. She blitzes Pebble Beach's opening 9 in 5 under par 31. The lowest score of the entire championship all week. 1 month earlier, Tardy nearly forgot to sign up for qualifying. And she needed 4 playoff holes just to secure her spot in the field. Now, midway through round 2, she finds herself atop the leaderboard at 7 under par.
I mean, this is a dream, being at the top of the leaderboard at a US Open. So just being able to take in all of this, it's just fun. I've really enjoyed all of this.
Tardy wants what defending champion Minjee Lee earned last year.
Well, that's Minjee Lee behind the tree.
On the par 4 15th, Lee produces the shot of the day.
Keep going, and go down in the cup. Minjee Lee.
First round leader Shi Yu Lin slumps to a 77 on Friday, despite this display of phenomenal touch on the 8th hole.
Boy, does that look good.
So good.
Alison Corpuz had never been to Pebble Beach before this year's US Women's Open. She continues her good play on the par 4 4th.
Alison Corpuz, the second-year LPGA player from Hawaii.
She also birdies the par 4 16th and finishes 5 under, 2 back of Tardy.
There's always pressure on major weeks, but I think just being able to look out at the ocean and just kind of center myself around the idea of, like how awesome it is to be part of the first women's field at Pebble Beach, and just how special the moment it is to be there.
Corpuz shares second with Hoo Joo Kim, who birdies the par 4 16th after a precise approach.
Proven major champion Hyo Joo Kim, top 10 in the world.
Kim briefly joins Tardy at 7 under, but falls back with bogeys on her final 2 holes, 8 and 9. Part of Pebble Beach's perilous stretch, known simply as the Cliffs of Doom. After 2 early bogeys, rookie phenom Rose Zhang rallies on the par 3 7th. She displays her world-class short game.
Unbelievable. The flag forgot who hit it. It's supposed to go in when it's Rose Zhang these days, isn't it?
The past so often feels present at Pebble Beach. And that was especially true late in round 2, as Annika Sorenstam and Michelle Wie West played their final hole of their final US Women's Open.
Boy, time's flying by. It just seems like yesterday Michelle was out here as a young teenager, competing and contending in majors.
She played in her first USGA event at the age of 10. That was the Women's Amateur Public Links, and 3 years later she would win it.
I'm happy out of my mind. I can't speak about it.
It feels at the same time nothing has changed and everything has changed all at once.
What was going through your mind as you were walking up 18, perhaps on the verge of winning this great championship?
I think you have a heartbeat of 2000.
What a journey this has been.
There's a saying that when you're thinking about the beginning of something, you're usually at the ending. Yet for Sorenstam and Wie West, nostalgia and sentimentality give way to their basic competitive instincts.
So much appreciation, so much, being thankful and being part of it. It warms my heart. But then you get down to, reading a putt and then you get mad. Like, why am I putting for, double?
Wie West, meanwhile, flashes her dazzling but tantalizing skill one last time.
How about it? Oh, yeah.
One of the most famous golfers in history on one of the most famous holes in the golfing world.
Well, the putts definitely didn't drop all week. The game's a funny game, and making that long putt on 18 definitely was a sweeter send-off.
Two icons of the women's game, sharing one last moment together on golf's grandest stage.
After these 2 days, it ends like that.
Saturday at the U.S. Women's Open. The LPGA Tour rookie ready for her close-up.
Precise driving propelled US Women's Open qualifier Bailey Tardy to the top of the leaderboard through 2 rounds.
Been a dream start to the week for Tardy.
But a series of wayward tee shots bring her back to the field in round 3.
Watch out.
Oh, this
Skying
heading.
right.
Boy, this is way right.
Oh, is that into the penalty area?
On the par 5 6th, a hole she eagled in each of the first 2 rounds, she flares her tee shot into a penalty area and makes bogey. On the par 4 9th, her tee shot ends up in some of the thickest rough on the golf course.
It just won't come out, Kay. Just a little off the mark there.
She makes another bogey. 7 under on Pebble Beach's front 9 during the first 2 rounds. She makes the turn in 2 over par, 38. That opens the door for the challengers lurking behind. Nasa Hataoka has played some of her best golf in California, with victories in Los Angeles
For Nasa Hataoka.
and San Diego,
Nasa Hataoka cruises.
and a runner-up finish in the 2021 US Women's Open at the Olympic Club in San Francisco. On a sun-splashed but breezy afternoon at Pebble Beach, Hataoka begins the day 6 shots behind Tardy.
This woman, 24-year-old from Ibaraki, Japan, Nasa Hataoka.
On the par 4 first, her pinpoint approach leads to an opening birdie. On the par 5 6th, she displays a deft touch from a greenside bunker that sets up a kick-in birdie.
Good action there. Textbook. Absolutely textbook.
Hataoka then preserves her momentum with a lengthy par save on the 9th hole.
That is a heck of a save, and that keeps intact a bogey-free front 9 for Nasa Hataoka.
Second-year LPGA Tour player Alison Corpus has said that she wants to feel more comfortable under the crucible of major championship pressure. She's been taking positive strides this year, with top 15 finishes in each of the first 2 majors. She begins the 3rd round 2 shots behind Tardy. On the par 3 5th, she shows off her world-class short game.
Whoa! That's one way to make up for the short hit off the tee, and a great way to record your first birdie of this beautiful Saturday.
On the par 4 10th, Corpus plays a delicate second shot from below her feet with a pitching wedge from 141 yards.
Oh yeah, judged the bounce so well.
She makes the putt to reach 7 under par.
Downhill, slightly right to left putt for Corpus.
And Alison Corpus going along very well indeed.
There's no way you can be in a bad mood looking at this vista and playing this golf course.
The par 4 13th hole ranks as the 2nd most difficult hole in round 3. But not for Nasa Hataoka.
13, Hataoka.
She makes birdie to climb within 1.
A bit of a quick putt.
Looking
straight towards the ocean. Nice.
Hataoka continues this surge up the board.
Hataoka holds nearly 100 feet of putts on Saturday, but does her work from off the green on the par 4 16.
Absolutely to perfection.
Her 5th birdie of the day, against no bogeys, moves her into a tie for the lead. She continues her charge on the par 3 17.
Oh yeah. 2 is a really good score at 17 today. And a player who spent a lot of time inside the top 10 in the world.
This is a special round we're seeing from Hataoka.
On a day when the scoring average balloons above 74, Hataoka posts a bogey-free 6 under par 66. The best score on Saturday by 4 shots. She finishes 7 under par. Hataoka races by 36-hole leader Bailey Tardy, who limps home with a double bogey on the par 4 15th hole.
That is a wild shot to the right.
Oh, just totally jumped on her out of that lie.
And wow, did this one get away in a hurry.
She shoots 75, the highest score of anyone inside the top 10. With the par 5 18th hole playing back into a stiff wind, Tardy's fellow competitor Alison Corpus catches a bad break with her 2nd shot.
And that one plants in the bunker.
She makes a closing bogey and falls 1 shot behind Hataoka. But for the 2nd time in 3 majors, Corpus will play in the final pairing on Sunday as she eyes her first major championship title.
If it's my time tomorrow, it is, but if not, you know, it's just another learning experience, and at some point I'm gonna figure it out and I'm going to get the win at some point.
In 6 prior US Opens held at Pebble Beach, every champion played in the final pairing on Sunday, except one.
That tap in for a par, and Tom Kite is the 1992 US Open champion.
Charley Hull has eyes on becoming the second. The 27-year-old from England begins Sunday 7 shots behind. After a par on the opening hole, Hull plays a 3-wood from 239 yards on the par 5 second. She uses the natural contours of the green to set up an easy eagle.
But how look at this. Wonderful. That's going to be for an eagle for Charley Hull to get it to 2 under par.
1 hole later, Hull attempts another birdie putt from 20 feet.
Oh, looking good, Charley Hull. Is she going to be that player from the back of the pack to make a big run?
She continues her surge on the par 4 4th hole.
Can Hull keep it going? Eagle birdie stretch and another one?
4 under in her first 4 holes. Hull now trails by only 3 shots.
Just make as many birdies as I can. It's quite fun. I kind of enjoy chasing someone down because you've got to make the birdies and you've got to make a move at that leaderboard.
54-hole leader Nasa Hataoka begins the final round with her customary bow to show respect and pay tribute to the golf course.
From Japan, please welcome Nasa Hataoka.
She makes a routine par at the first. Meanwhile, her fellow competitor Alison Corpus plays a pinpoint approach from a severe downhill lie.
And look at this shot by Corpus right out of the gate. Really has been the most consistent player through all the rounds.
She then holds the birdie putt and grabs a share of the lead at 7 under par.
Just knowing that, you know, Nasa didn't have a lead anymore and that I had caught up, I mean, that was a great way to start the day.
Moments after her fast start, Corpus encounters a bad break on the par 5 second hole. Her third shot from a divot in the middle of the fairway comes out hot and bounces over the green. She then faces a lengthy putt to salvage par.
I mean, it actually sat on the edge for a few seconds before falling in. I was kind of thinking, like, this stuff doesn't usually happen to me. Like, I'm off to a good start, you know, like, let's just keep it going.
And she does, on the par 4 third.
And Corpus just made a 12.5-footer for another birdie.
Her birdie, coupled with a bogey by Hataoka, gives Corpus a 2-shot lead.
Dreamlike start for Alison in that final pairing.
Really went into the round thinking, you know, if I'm going to make birdies, it needs to be early. Just get your name up there and then hold on and play the back nine solid, because I didn't think the whole week that there were many birdies on the back nine, at least as many opportunities as on the front.
The 4th hole played is the easiest par 4 throughout the championship. But Corpus makes an unforced error from just 77 yards.
No, that just flew too far.
Over the green with a long putt back to a front hole location, she is unable to save par.
So it's an unlikely bogey, one of the easiest holes on the course for Corpus.
Hataoka applies even more pressure on the par 5 6th hole. She 2-putts for birdie from 40 feet to regain a share of the lead.
Can't imagine a more nerve-wracking little par 3 in all of golf, especially on a championship Sunday at Pebble Beach.
On arguably the most iconic par 3 in the game, and with the weight of major championship pressure bearing down on her, Corpus responds.
Oh, wow, that was pretty tasty.
She relies on a single mantra throughout the final round. go get it. And she does.
Oh, yeah. Corpuz picks up a beauty at the gorgeous 7th.
31 years ago, the same hole proved pivotal for Tom Kite.
Easy. Hit it. Hit it.
Would the famed par 3 play a decisive role once again in the quest of another player seeking their first major championship at Pebble Beach? Charley Hull went out in 4 under par 32, which equaled the lowest front nine score on Sunday. Her torrid start reduced what had been a 7-shot deficit to just 4. But she isn't done. On the par 4 10th, she faces this birdie putt from 24 feet.
And this looks pretty good. Is it another one for Charley Hull, trying to storm through the field on Sunday to win at Pebble? What a day so far for the Englishwoman.
On the uphill par 4 11th, Hull plays a wedge from 119 yards and hits the green in regulation for the first time in a week. Hull's second shot leaves her with a breaking downhill putt.
Hull finds another one. And this whole charge has been electric today.
Thanks.
Back-to-back birdies move Hull to 6 under overall and within 2 of the lead. While Hull continues her climb up the leaderboard, 54-hole leader Nasa Hataoka simply tries to hang on. On the par 4 9th, she faces a challenging bunker shot from short of the green.
Sounded good. Wow, is that ever good?
That's just total feel and practice, practice, practice. That was fantastic.
Hataoka's remarkable recovery helps her save par. Her fellow competitor, Alison Corpuz, took the fewest number of putts of any player in the field on Sunday. She shows why on the par 4 10th. After a bogey on the 9th hole, Corpuz's birdie propels her into the outright lead once again at 8 under par. She maintains her lead as she arrives on the par 3 12th, which plays downhill but into a stiff breeze. Corpuz selects a 6-iron from 174 yards.
Ooh, is that plant?
It's buried.
Yes.
A little bit of a fried egg. Doesn't look awful, but short-sighted. Not going to be able to get any spin on that.
She has an outside shot of getting this, I'd say within 8 to 10 feet would be really good.
From a challenging lie, she gives herself a chance to save par.
You can see it hit right on that downslope.
Yeah, all in all, well done.
Corpuz hadn't made a putt outside 16 feet all week. Until now.
What a time to make the longest putt of the week. Fantastic.
That was clutch.
Moments after Corpuz salvages a crucial par, Nasa Hataoka attempts to do the same. Hataoka's bogey increases Corpuz's lead to 2.
And I think that was really the moment where, okay, like you just need to get home and get it done.
After a bogey on 13, Charley Hull trails Corpuz by 3 as she faces a lengthy birdie putt on the par 4 16th hole.
Just a slow putt up the hill, but we know that Charley is an aggressive player.
Yeah, it's a good speed and it finds the bottom. A no-doubter from Hull. Didn't get it as close as she would have liked, but it's no matter.
Hull has now made more than 130 feet of putts on Sunday. She moves to 6 under and trails by 2. Less than a minute after the roars from Hull's putt reverberate around Pebble Beach, Corpus responds with her third shot on the par 5 14th.
And that needs to just put on the brakes, which it does. Wow, a lot of spin from 53 yards. What a shot from the leader. And it sets up a putt to get to 9 under par. And in it goes, a 3-shot lead.
There was a lot of stress. I mean, it's mine or I mess up, right? That thought definitely crossed my mind. Then at the same time, I was kind of like, you know, you've done this for 3.5 rounds already. Like, all you need to do is take it.
On the par 4 15th, she extends her advantage.
Well, she hit it really high, but it's a pretty nice line.
Is it ever?
Oh my.
The short birdie putt gives Corpus a 4-shot lead.
Corpus won't let off the gas.
Her flourish on 14 and 15 forces Hull to go for the par 5 18th in 2.
She knows this is her chance to win a U.S. Open, and she's going to go for it. I love this play.
Hull hopes to emulate the shot Tiger Woods executed from a near identical position in 2010.
Enough distance to pull this off, but this is a crazy shot.
Come on!
Shot of the day. How about that shot? Wake up the echoes of Pebble.
Was there any hesitation at all going into that?
No. Shy keys don't get sweet, so I've got to go and take it.
Boy, good-looking shot. Started at that tree and turning towards the center, front center of that green.
It's just going to run out of real estate. Almost pulled off. An exceptional shot.
And now she's got an awkward bunker shot from 40, 50 yards.
Hull's second shot, like her final round rally, comes up just short. Still, she improves her score each day, and her Sunday 66 matches the lowest round of the week.
Just beyond impressive. What a performance, and gives Allison something to think about. There's some golf left to play.
But Corpus will not be denied. And on the 18th hole, the championship and her first major title are within her grasp.
And now Corpus takes one of the most famous strolls in the game, and with a 3-shot lead.
6 times before her, US Open champions made this same walk at this same storied venue. Now, Corpus joins that illustrious group.
It's really special. I don't even think I've fully understood the significance yet. It's still pretty unreal to me that I'm part of the Pebble Beach history pretty much forever.
But Corpus isn't just joining history. She's making history.
And it's Allisen Corpus who indeed emerges as the very first champion in the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach.
Anytime you're the first, everyone's going to remember you, maybe even a little more than they remember anyone else. Just to be able to say that I'm the first woman to win there, I mean, it's still just a bit mind-blowing. It still just sometimes feels like a dream. Definitely a dream come true, and something that I'm going to treasure forever.